Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to game number 2 between CLG and Moscow 5. A little bit update on the schedule and the matches, the way things are going to be played. It is going to be a best of 2 series between all of the teams that are playing so far. A lot of matches coming your way. And it's best of 2 because it's a point system, so even if they go for 1 here or 2-0 here, really it's not going to mean too much other than the seeding in the actually playoff bracket. So try to win as many games as possible is always the mantra for these group stages events.
Yeah, now don't underestimate the importance of the group stages. There are a lot of matches, and each individual game may not be that important, but your overall performance really does matter. As if you don't do well in the group stages, you start off in the lower bracket, and not only do you start off in the lower bracket, Lumi, but you start off in the lower bracket with best out of 1 series all the way until the last 2 rounds. So it's do or die for any teams that are in the lower half of the groups at the end of the day. Each individual game, again, may not matter, but in the big picture, it really is significant. The draft, though, is underway. Pretty standard bans across the board. I'm seeing a lot of signatures for both teams are available. I feel like for M5, maybe get some, something a little bit more aggressive. Maybe a Chaos Knight, maybe a Night Stalker. I just don't think what they drafted last game fits their style.
Really, I completely agree. I felt like they played the laning stage perfectly. It was such a passive-aggressive way of playing, and it was okay. But then came rolling the mid-game. CLG just kept throwing out punches, and M5 was not responding. They gotta have a powerful response should they want to take CLG to a 1-1, evening the series up.
Absolutely. A little bit of a hiccup here for CLG. They're taking a while to make this final ban. Darkseer is in the pool. That's got to be the number 1 here that they have their eyes on. But Lycan is available as well. And I know for CLG, they have given up Darkseer before to get their hands on Lycan. Because it's not any old Lycan. It's pajkatt playing it. And I have to say, out of all the Lycans I've seen in the past month, he is by far the best. In the Beyond the Summit World Tour, he did not drop a single game when he played Lycan. Some of those games were not, maybe not the most serious affairs, but even in the finals, he looked fantastic on it. So that's a here to keep an eye on. They banned Leshrac, both of those available. I gotta figure M5 go for the Darkseer here, but I could be wrong.
Would you like some updates with some of the other matches?
Sure, let's give the viewers some updates.
All right, Absolute Legend 1-0 against Mousesports. DK 1-0 against EG. CLG, of course, you just watched 1-0 against M5. DK, did I say that? DK, is that it? What about the Zenith versus LGD series? I think LGD.
I believe it's still underway.
Okay, but Zenith is getting destroyed. So the Chinese team looking pretty good, but right now we're back to M5.
Right, yeah, the Asian teams, I think a lot of the Western viewing audience underestimates them a little bit. I've seen, on sites like Reddit and even Team Liquid, a lot of people aren't really giving them credit. I think part of it is just lack of exposure. People in the European scene not able to watch as many of those games for these Asian teams, but you cannot sleep on any of them. Even a team like DK, who, to be honest, did not look exceptional in Dota 2 heading into the tournament. These Chinese teams, above all else, they have so much LAN experience. There's few European teams that can probably match theirs, teams like Navi, but even there, it's not quite as much. But Navi has all the big LAN, the big event experience. That's really what matters. So if experience really does matter in a tournament like this, sure, you're playing a lot of games. At some point, you're going to get comfortable, but it can make a difference getting off on a hot foot, knowing what to do when the game's really heated. I gotta say, give CLG and M5 a lot of credit. Both teams were very composed in that series overall. CLG or in game number 1. Overall, CLG played better, but I would not say M5 played badly by any means. At CLG, well, they get their hands on Lycan and Venomancer. This is something we've seen before, but M5 having Darkseer, Enigma, and Night Stalker, this is also something we've seen before. I love the draft for M5.
Right, I mean, this is the M5 we've been waiting for, the dives being led by vigoss' Night Stalker. The big black hole, I'm getting my vocal pipes ready because we will see some vacuum black hole this game. And if you guys are wearing headphones, just a fair warning, okay? Fair warning, guys.
Yeah, we might be screaming not only about those black holes, but about vigoss finding himself. We've seen him play Night Stalker before, where he's behind the enemy tier 2 when the tier 1s are still up, diving the base, getting kills, and getting out alive. The man can be a magician at times, and sometimes he fails to juggle those balls, and he goes too far and ends up getting picked off. So we'll have to see, but I promise you one thing, vigoss will be aggressive this game, and I think overall we're going to see more of the M5 that we're accustomed to.
Now, the last time I casted a Lycanthrope, the item choices was things like Necro 3 into a Shadow Blade. You casted pajkatt Lycans a lot of times. What item does Z go for?
It depends on the game. Generally, pajkatt is a big fan of getting the Necro Book, and we cast I think at least one or two of his together. When he gets the Necro Book, whenever you get that item, it's all about split pushing. It's not really the best team fight item, especially against what M5 had, which is a lot of disable, a lot of CC that the BKB would block, would help you deal with. That Night Stalker silence could be an issue for him if he wants to go that route. We'll have to see what direction he takes it, but generally he goes for the Necro 3. And the thing about pajkatt's Lycan that's a little bit different from other Lycans, at least from what I've seen, he's almost never out of position. His map awareness is absolutely exceptional, pristine, I would even say. So the chances of M5 finding the pickoffs, they might not be the best on pajkatt. For me, I think M5 needs to focus more on killing off the supports. Lycan is a hero you don't want to ignore, but if you can shut down the other 4 heroes in the early to mid game, he can't always do it himself, especially if they get a good carry to back up the Night Stalker.
Definitely, that's the case. We are on the second draft. Brewmaster is banned, Windrun is banned as well. Tinker is a hero that CLG does not want to face against. Rubik still in that pool. Neither team is caring too much about it, but for now, Moscow 5 looking for a lot of diving hero. They do respect Amir's Invoker, and they will get rid of it for now. And now the ball is back in M5's court. They need one more support, imagine, and a very, very powerful solo. We see Night Stalker dual lanes as well, so that's definitely a possibility. So for now,
where are we gonna see CLG go with their lanes right now? Like it, we've seen pajkatt as jungle. In fact, I'd say he jungles a little bit more often than not. But they don't have the strongest laning heroes right now. Sand King not very strong in the lane unless he's in a dual or tri lane. Venomancer can handle a solo position if he needs to. For CLG, they have to have their eyes on solo heroes. You talked about the ban towards Admir's Invoker. That's also an Invoker that maybe CLG would like to get their hands on, but they don't want it to slip into M5's hands. Queen of Pain is the pickup here. Windrunner has to be another consideration. Maybe even something... No, Longer got banned out. Rubik there. There you go. CLG finds a pretty strong laning hero. I'm not sure how effective Rubik will be this game, though. He's very frail, and he's up against so many heroes that are good at tower diving, good at picking him off. But boy, if he can live, if he can get some farm, there's a lot of good spells for him to steal.
Well, one spell that he shouldn't be stealing is Darkness, Night Stalker's ultimate. But everything else is pretty good, especially that Vacuum, especially that Black Hole. I mean, he's got some AoE backup on his team, right? He's got the Epicenter, he's got the Venomancer, so if he does steal Black Hole, it could be very, very cheesy. But it's a Night Stalker that's going to be the big if, right? Night Stalker comes in, he just silences you, and things could get really rough really quickly.
Yeah, the Rubik pick, it makes a lot of sense this game. It's also going to give them a way to try and deal with that Enigma. I still don't know how they deal with this Night Stalker's tower dives. Gale can be decent. Sand King can be decent with a really nice burrow strike. I was going to say something like Shadow Demon might be a good pick. I love to see heroes like Earthshaker up against Night Stalker, although it's very hard to actually get Fidget off when he sees you because cast animation is so long and you can interrupt it with Void or the Silence from Fear. For CLG, they've got to be concerned about these tower dives. Maybe they'll just try and not be there when M5 show up. But it's going to be real hard not to be there when Night Stalker and Queen of Pain and Darkseer are all the maps. So much mobility for this M5 squad. I feel like CLG have a lot to accomplish with this last pick, and they go for Storm. How do you feel about this choice?
Well, Storm, I mean, it's so awkward to see Storm against a Night Stalker, but when it works, it bypasses all the defensive mechanism that the Radiant could even, the Dire team. Is it Radiant or Dire? I always get confused when it's up and down like this.
Just look at the top. Look at the top. It's M5 on the Radiant.
Right, okay, so Radiant, they're going to try to place forward and try to be somewhat defensive. Should they feel the need to do so, Misery Storm Spray could bypass any of that with relative ease. And also, M5 is a team that will dive past multiple towers, and all Misery needs to do is TP onto one of those towers and be right there with the Storm Spray zip. So it's a fairly defensive pick, even though Storm Spray is such an offensive hero normally.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to get too much accomplished offensively unless he... I mean, we've seen Misery has proven me wrong in that respect many a time before, so don't be surprised if he does this game either. Let's actually introduce the players real quickly. Akke going to be handling that support. Venomancer and Lumi, just make sure your mic's working. Looks like mine is.
Okay.
We should double check every game. Lacoste going to be handling the Rubik. Looks like it will be a Rubik getting some farm. Misery going to be playing that Storm. All three headed up towards the top lane. Miracle on that support. Sand King. Ward's picked up for him. A bunch of consumables. Pretty cute little courier here. Looks like a dinosaur of some kind. And then finally, pajkatt gonna be handling that Lycan. Quellyblade picked up 4 clarities. I expect him to jungle. They have a lot of heroes that need levels and farm. But we'll have to see. Here's the big question for CLG. How are they gonna deal with this offlane?
I'm not too sure. I think you throw... Well, I think
He
whatever
tried to
hero
pull
they
the-
throw there is going to be a little bit of trouble because that trialing on the Radiant side is absolutely scary. Vigoss is going to be playing the Night Stalker, no surprise. They're silent, by the way. Very underestimated support in the European scene. So good on positioning on the Shadow Demon. You'll see that CLG is going to throw fits trying to kill people because silence always going to be there with disruption. He has the wards available. PGG, of course, no surprise. Some say he's IceFrog. Some say he's 5-man Blocko. Whatever the case might be, he will give you a powerful game today. 5 clarities already going to be going for the jungle build. We have Amir is going to be going mid. Just good old GG branches. No regen necessary. Rushing for that quick bottle. And back in the top lane, it's going to be Blood Angel on the Darkseer.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much can this Darkseer get done top. I think he's going to be fine, though, because it's only a Sand King there. They don't have multiple lockdown for him. Multiple hero lockdown. Generally, when we see Darkseer struggle, it's with something like a Shadow Demon, or maybe a Shrek as well, for another way to help deal with that surge. Gale is not going to really do too much against Blood Angel. I also want to point out Blood Angel has not taken a skill point yet. We've seen in the past sometimes pros Gale not going to hit only on the illusions. They really don't want these to block the creep cap, which is what Blood Angel is going for. But I don't think Blood Angel is going to die too much. He actually does take Ion Shell, so he's got to be careful for this first level not to get hit by a Gale and an Impale. That might be enough to kill him off, or a Burrow Strike, I should say. So top lane, I think Darkseer will get something. I don't really see what Lacoste is going to get done bottom, especially with this lane ward already here.
Yeah, generally when we see teams put this Rubik on the bot lane, you might see Boots be sometimes first, and now Silent already with the disruption. He's going for the block. Oh, he's got a little body block going. And actually, with the illusion, the Fable are doing quite a bit of damage. Lacoste forced to burn his first salve. And that's just, you know, Shadow Demon harassing by himself. Meanwhile, you can see that Vigoss is just basically having perfect CS, as he should, right? I mean, he's a pro player, and he's definitely getting free farm.
You know, the other thing I'm very concerned about for M5, it's Misery on the middle lane on Storm. I think this might be our first blood here. Admir blinking, 2 more auto techs. No, he gets fogged. He walks back down. He will cancel the salve. And is he really going to die for the kill? No. Admir, if he had not misclicked there, if you continue to progress up that hill, I believe that would have been first blood.
Lane here.
Even though he doesn't.
Void opening up, and we're going to see a disruption very soon. Disruption, here we go. And they're giving Void a little bit of cooldown here. A couple more right clicks on the choice. Void is ready to go, and that's going to be the first blood here for M5. Nobody denied this one from Vigoss. He's like, yeah, baby, I'm going to get my boots of speed. And the night is going to be starting a little bit earlier than you might expect.
Yeah, this is a Night Stalker who's going to get absolute free farm on the bottom lane. Although so far he's only 3-3, but with that kill, the next kill will come that much easier, especially with the tri-lane. With PGG able to assist, he has not even left the jungle just yet, but once he does, that's going to mean more trouble for this Rubik. But back to the mid lane. This is the lane that Storm Spirit generally has a really difficult time in until he hits 6. He does manage to live once. Misery has the bottle on the way. That'll help keep him safe. But if there's any kind of gank from PGG or Silent, and Silent is heading mid, oh, he might backstab this courier. But if this Storm doesn't get 6 quickly, he could be in world trouble. Top lane, it's Blood Angel actually fighting too. Ion Shell's doing a lot of damage, but Miracle he wants back in, looking for the Burrow Strike. They're just afraid of the Ion Shell. Perfect patience there for Miracle. Blood Angel should take a fall. One more right click, and CLG answer back. They strike back. They get a kill, but now it's Misery. Meanwhile, up near the Ancients, DD Root. Is Misery really going to get this kill? No. The blink away. Admir secures it. And that's 2 lanes now. One heavily for M5. A lot of pressure going to be on CLG's pajkatt, playing that Lycan to come alive here in the mid game.
Yeah, we did not expect the Storm Spirit to win this lane, but he died quite early. He does have the bottle already finished, but he's going to have to walk back to the lane. Oh man, that's just a lot of EXP that he's missing. He was also throughout the entire engagement microing that courier because he knew Silent was trying to snipe it. So he was juking with the courier while fighting the Queen of Pain. That is some expert micro there. Unfortunately, went down on 0, so it didn't help too much. But back on the bot lane here, as Shadow Demon has left the lane, you can see Rubik struggling to find some EXP. Barely hits level 2. By comparison, Vigoss, 4.5. Wow. You talked about 2 lanes already lost. They really got to win that top lane big time. And speaking of the top lane, Darkseer is 4.5 already. I'm not sure how much.
Farmer.
Yeah, he's farming great. I think CLG arguably is losing all 3 lanes.
Yeah, they did manage to get a kill on Blood Angel. That will slow him down, but Darkseer is a hero that doesn't have to have a perfect start. He's not super momentum-based. He has so many ways to come back in terms of farm in the mid game. Admir gets a kill mid. He's still only level 4, but once he hits 5, that's where things get really scary for Misery. And look at the aggression right now. Even when he's not killing Misery, he's ushering him off of the creep wave. He's putting pressure on him. In spite of that, give Misery his due. He is still out-farming Admir, albeit only by a small amount. If Misery can hang on just long enough to get 6, things will get a lot easier for CLG. It's just the next couple of minutes are going to be crucial. If he dies 1 or 2 more times, I think CLG are in big trouble. But if he doesn't, I think they can recover from this. Top lane, Blood Angel, Burst Strike is going to miss. Constant pressure towards him, but Darkseer, the master at avoiding and dealing with that pressure, he's going to be absolutely fine.
Two heroes that we haven't talked about so far is the Enigma, who's coming out of jungle. Looks like they want to set up a push, as well as, of course, pajkatt in jungle. But let's forget about pajkatt in a bit. Look at the coordination here from M5. They see a siege unit come in. They says time to go push. PGG coming out of jungle. Conversion already damaging the tower a little bit, and the dive might be happening. They're going to force Lacoste off the tower, and unfortunately, they don't really have the creep wave. It's a little bit slow for now, and they're going to try to do as much damage to the tower as possible. I'm not too sure whether they can actually take it, though.
Admir wants to go in mid so badly. Misery really diving deep for this one. He did have the pull there and could easily pick up a kill. If Admir overextends, that's going to be a big loss, but it is all about the bottom lane. Constant pressure on the lane. Look at the aggression of Silent strutting past the tower, and really, what can Lacoste do about it? He's the same level as Silent. He has managed to secure boots, but those aren't going to do too much if Disruption, Void, Soulcatcher, Malefice, so many ways to lock him in place, slow him down, and pick him off. We've seen off-lane Rubik work before, but up against this powerful of a tri-lane, oh, Lacoste. Oh, okay, he's gonna be okay. Up against this powerful of a tri-lane, it's just not a lane he can win.
Misery on the mid lane, he's just getting ganked. Look at vigoss. This is where he lives, by the way. If he's on the Radiant side, he's between that tier 1 and tier 2 of Dire constantly. One of his favorite position. But here we go on the bot lane. Lacoste being, again, harassed. And look at PGG in the lane, already got 6 eyeline going. He is going to be right-clicking on this tower. And with vigoss chasing him away, this tower should go down now. As I say that though, the creep wave is coming in, and that's going to draw some of the tensions from the Radiant creeps.
Yeah, keep in mind, this is not just the normal, oh, a tower goes down, they get some gold, they get a little bit of map control. This is a tower going down up against a Night Stalker, a hero that wants those towers to be down so he can dive even more aggressively. Middle lane though, Misery almost safe. He's literally one creep. The Wolves coming in. Admir going deep for this one. Nice disjoint there by Misery. Not the best mana control. He will live, but now pajkatt on the chase. 10-second cooldown on that blink. pajkatt could maybe get the spill. Not going to die for it. Meanwhile, top epicenter channel. They get the Darkseer. That's a big kill as well. And Max should just happening all over the place. Misery dropping low. pajkatt maybe even thinking about denying him there as in comes vigoss. Void. 2 right clicks will do it. There you go. That swipe, that was Stretch Armstrong action, man. That was a long-range swipe, but he gets the kill.
And that kill means so much. Now your first urn is ready to go. Of course, you can use one of those healing charges for yourself. Look at what vigoss is doing. He's looking for an enemy that's not even there. This is what vigoss does at his best. But back to the urn, that's 150 damage over time that you could count on Night Stalker. He already does so much from right-click and Void. Now he just adds a tiny little bit more to his damage combo. He turns right back. He sees Miracle. Miracle is going to Burrow Strike. Gale, it will hit as well, but vigoss will stay his ground and fight. As I say that, he's porting out against 3 heroes. Stormstreet comes in. Yes! Just TPs out in time. Misery, unfortunately, not able to revenge for himself.
You can actually cast spells while you're zipping in. They will take effect, so I believe Misery could have just gotten that one, but that was like a quarter of a second at best to react and get it off in time. Very difficult kill. vigoss dodges a bullet, but keep in mind, it's not only does vigoss live, it's how effective is he at getting kills and getting farm during this time. Sure, his team is getting something while he's running around the map. He's putting some pressure on, but he's not slowing down pajkatt. And pajkatt's a player we have not talked about too much since the game started. 41 CS, Vlad's completed already. Or sorry, no, that's a medallion and a rate of Basilius. It's going to allow him to farm a little bit faster. Not as good for going for an early Roshan, but he'll have the Vlad soon. Are they getting enough to justify giving this Lycan free farm?
I'm not too sure. I mean, right now, well, we've seen this, right? This is the same mantra from game number 1, where CLG falls behind and they can come back. Back in the mid lane here, initiation goes on the mirror, but he blinks out. Blink's coming off cooldown, and we do have a PGG teleport. For now, Black Hole is available, and really interesting build here from PGG.
Top lane. Silent taking big damage from the Wolves, the medallion driving him back, not actually going to look towards the kill. Misery, meanwhile, vigoss in the back lines. Is he really doing this? Come on, vigoss. You gotta be kidding me, man. He's diving so deep. Doesn't have that level for Void. I feel he really needs to hit 7. Is he gonna try and gank the courier? He wants something, man, and he wants it bad. The bottle was even on the... No, it's on the ground for a second there, but the courier picks up, and now the dive comes. Misery has to be in a lot of trouble. Where's that silence? No, the Void first. That would have been an easy kill. This vigoss actually has not taken a point in Crippling Fear. We've seen this before. I don't know about your thoughts, but I feel it's absolutely essential up against Storm. Well,
against Storm Spirit as well as Lycanthrope, that can use Shapeshift. Ooh, tower gets denied here by pajkatt's Wolves! Wow! That's such a... I mean, the Wolves don't do damage at this stage of the game, but back to the lack of fear, it does... I mean, it's so good against Lycanthrope, it's so good against Sand King, but most of all, it's essential against Storm Spirit. I think he missed the kill because he didn't put that point into fear. But I mean, that's his choice. He wanted to be stronger at night, so he put the extra point in Hunter at night. It hurt him in that one particular instance, but the fact that he's moving constantly a lot quicker, as well as the fact that he's attacking, for more nighttime, it's a conscious choice, and unfortunately, it didn't work out there.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I'd be concerned about is if he completely maxes Hunter in the night, because that's probably 4 or 5 minutes where he's not going to have that silence to work with, even if he just free farms. So I think he does need to get a point. Vigoss pops the ult to extend the night. Great job by him popping that on.
Top lane here.
No, it's Blood Angel. Gets caught out. Probably going to go down here. Vacuum on 3. Not enough. He goes down. That kill going the way of pajkatt, who now will have the Vlads complete in 400 gold. Lycan, about 10 minutes in, Vlad's a medallion. And on the dire side, don't be surprised at all if he heads towards Roshan soon.
Well, I mean, I think he should wait for daytime though if he's heading to Roshan, because I mean, if he's not afraid to dive past between tier 3 and tier 2 towers, I think he's not afraid to go into that Roshan pit. But for now, the pressure is going to go on the top lane. Akke already setting up those plague wards. It's going to take a while for this tower to go down, but if the M5 is not going to be defending it, well, it's going to go down eventually.
And whenever we see a tower go down this early, we always ask ourselves, what is the trade-off? And right now, there's absolutely nothing. No, they might try and defend this. It's only a level 2 vacuum. And a level 4 Ion Shell, but no points to the ultimate yet. Still, they force in 1 TP, 2 heroes walk in, blink in for Queen of Pain. Admir with a DD rune really wants to find someone who could easily assassinate Miracle with 1 more blink, but it's only a level 2 blink. The cooldown is long, but Vigoss maybe diving even longer. No, burrow strike over the tree line. Great decision making there by Miracle. He'll be absolutely fine. And meanwhile, it's PGG pressuring the bottom lane. Even though they rotate 3 or 4 top, they have at least 1 hero pushing the lanes out. What does PGG go for here? He's got a bit of regen up, but he hasn't started building the rest of the mech. Is this a game where you want a really early Blink Dagger?
I don't think so. I think you have great initiation already with Night Stalker, with Queen of Pain, as well as the Darkseer. I think he could just provide backup support with the mech. And earlier I was trying to point out the skill build. Look at him maxing Demonic Conversion first. I want to say 80% of the time you max Malefice, 90% of the time you max Malefice, simply because you want that extra second of stun. But for now, he's maxing Demonic Conversion. Just shows you they run the pressure all over the map, taking out a page out of CLG's playbook and smashing it right back to them. And look at that. PGG pressuring the bot tower, his teammate pressuring up top. Again, pick your poisons. Back in the mid lane here, Lacoste now gets the silence, and he is basically dead. Vigoss will get a couple more earn charges, and the nighttime being very successful. That's a killing spree on Vigoss already.
Meanwhile, top lane, it's Admir. All the M5 players diving deep. No, the Gale hits, as well as the Poison Sting. He will back off. Could have had that kill easily, but would most likely died for it. Still, he's not done yet. Akke trying to scout him out, trying to get the scent. Admir thinking about it. Admir, don't do it, my friend, and he will wisely back off. I gotta give M5 a lot of credit, because so many times we've passed their games, they're too aggressive. But this game, I feel it's just about the perfect mixture. They're playing aggressively, they're putting pressure on, but they're not diving, they're not feeding, they're not getting picked off. They don't have a big lead in terms of kills, but they're out farming CLG, they're controlling the map a bit there. I'm not sure if it's enough, because this is pajkatt's Lycan, but so far they're playing this lineup perfectly.
Right, I think when we have M5 in the lead, we will truly get ourselves in the game. Because last game we saw, when CLG gets in the lead, it's really Black Hole, the backstab Black Hole Misery trying to actually TP out, but it was not enough. That was the most ninja Black Hole I've ever seen. Now PGG adds another title's name, IceFrog, 5-man Black Hole, the Ninja.
Man, that was so smart. If you Malefice, he'll be able to blink out after the second Malefice. Instead, he just walks in, no hesitation from PGG. Cool as ice. Get it? And he drops the Black Hole there, picks up the kill. That was good stuff from him. Akke rotates down, wanting to place a ward here. Silent is on the trail of him. He's not going to find him just yet. I want to point out, the one thing we haven't really talked about for CLG is how important good vision is for them right now. That's why we see Akke dropping this ward near Roshan. This is not at all about trying to get Roshan, because like you said, especially during the nighttime, going for that is probably just suicide, probably how you grow the game. Also a lane ward up top, very cleverly tucked away on the ridge here, but ward's designed to limit the ability for Night Stalker to move around the map, limit his ability to find those easy ganks. If M5 want to get those ganks, they're either going to have to de-ward, or they're going to have to smoke, and either way, it's a much bigger investment for them. Smart play by CLG. Whether it's enough remains to be seen, but they're doing all the right things to try and counter M5's aggression. Speaking
of de-warding, they saw the Observer Ward in front of a tier 2 tower on the bot lane. They pinged it. Half a second later, Akke came in with Sentry Ward. He just has packets of Sentry Wards ready to go. Blink Dagger finish on the Sanking. We saw a very, very late Blink last game, but Miracle finished it so quickly here simply because he got the farm on the top lane and he's looking for a solo kill. Now granted, it's only a level 1 ultimate, but against the Darkseer, it might just be enough. Well, he has a Vanguard. He needs another hero, and pajkatt very nearby. Looks like he's already getting ready to channel that ultimate. It's being channeled. A blinking, a burrow strike is all they really need. Miracle! He just walks in, wasting a couple pulses, but it's enough.
That's okay. That's why you have pajkatt, that gigantic cat putting the team on his back or his belly, carrying the victory. Misery bottom lane. 1 zip, a long zip, and the TP out as the second zip completes. Great play by him. He will escape. No, that's not a graphical glitch. You can do that, and it does work. The zip just happens as soon as you start it, and the TP channel not canceled. Good escape there, and every time that anyone on CLG escapes, that is going to free up their heroes elsewhere on the map to get aggressive. And they're really going to go for this. They're heading towards Roshan. Looks like they want it. They have the items with pajkatt. All they need is a couple of moments' time. Can they find it? I'm not sure, but Black Hole is down. Night Stalker's Darkness has just run out. This is about the perfect time to do it, and what do you know? CLG's going for it.
Yep, and you can see Akke putting wards down. He's trying his best to counter ward. Unfortunately, a very good observer ward placement. They see absolutely everything that's going on, but sure, you see the Roshan that's been hammered upon. What can you do about it? Look at Akke. He has so many wards. Oh, it's going to delay it a little bit, but Queen of Pain with the haste ring. He's looking in. Looks like that's going to force Miracle and his team to back out. PGG in position. No Black Hole for about 20 seconds. He already has a mech finish. Night Stalker coming in as well. The wards, though, look at them. They just continue to be stacked up.
These are only level 3 wards, by the way. They're not even maxed out, and these wards scale extremely well. So every level you get, the HP goes up a lot, the damage goes up a lot. And look at vigoss, even though he's got some pretty good tank items, still taking some decent chip damage. And this is just total annoyance. The big zip in, they want PGG. He's got a mech. Will he get it off? Blink in. 2-hero burrow strike. PGG goes down. Silent will follow. Queen of Pain ult hits only on Miracle, and the blink away. Will he live? One more zip. One more auto attack. Misery with that amazing mono management. Great timing there. You can buy a mech, but if you don't get to use it, it's not going to help you still. PGG bought back. He knows how important this Roshan is. He is right back in this fight. Lacoste maybe going to get bashed here. Does CLG force this, or are they content with those kills and the buyback and back off?
I think they force this. They're not backing him right now. Akke continue to set up those wards. Queen of Pain dead for 16 more seconds. I think that's the most dangerous hero they are going to be afraid of. And yeah, M5 knows they can't really fight this anymore. You can see that vigoss is journeying back top just for farm. I mean, well, they fought for the Roshan. They kind of lost it big time. Stormsphere really was the X factor in that engagement. Stormsphere is going to get the Aegis as well. 90% of the time you give it to pajkatt, but really, Stormsphere with the Aegis Immortal is absolutely insane. So they're going to give it to him instead. But yeah, they picked the Storm for that initiation, the bypass wards, to bypass anything, and to get immediately pull against that against the Enigma. And basically, he had no chance. Couldn't even pop his mech.
It's one of these things where you're not going to see a high... I don't know if you've seen that YouTube video of just some, like, crazy dubstep and the camera going wild, and it's just a support hero replacing wards. You're never going to see supports glorified outside of that ridiculous video. But it really is the supports that set everything up in that engagement for CLG. So glad you pointed out. Give Akke his due. It wasn't just the actual wards he placed, but also the plague wards to D-ward, and just to be a total nuisance. TP's in top lane, everything centering around this tower right now. CLG doing a fantastic job of holding onto that top tower. It's been pressured multiple times, but so far M5 not getting it. And I gotta say, for M5, they still have a fantastic lineup. They're not in a bad position by any means, but they're just not finding as many kills as they want. And you don't pick Queen of Pain and Night Stalker to farm all game. You pick them to get some kills.
Yeah, I feel like they're running out of steam, but this is the daytime, so, you know, it's fine. Second night's going to be crucial for now. Both teams getting some very critical farm. You know, Amir says, oh, Blink Burrow Strike on the top lane here. Ultimate being picked. Oh, no. Queen of Pain gets telekinesis up in the air, so she cannot blink away. And that is another kill against Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain, very much so a roller coaster hero. If she's going up, she's going to keep going up. But if she's diving deep like this, she's going to keep going down.
A roller coaster hero, man. Now I've heard it all, and it's so true though, and especially in that case where she's literally being thrown up and back down by Rubik. You're on top of your game today, Lumi, and it's pretty early for you still. My eyes are on vigoss though, because he's got an ogre club right now. He hasn't been too effective with his ganks. Oh, instant PGG comes in. One hero black hole. No, he wants pajkatt the Malphus to start the void to follow. Where's that black hole? Wants to get it off. Not gonna find it. The stun as well. The vacuum back in. pajkatt still alive. And this is the power of Lycan. Is he really getting away with 50 HP? By God, he is. and we're not done yet. Misery, Zips, auto attacks. CLG thinking about fighting, but without the big damage dealer, they're probably not going to pick one. Darkness was used. That's going to delay that second nighttime. A little bit of harassment of Miracle is going to dodge that Shadow Strike with the Sandstorm. Nice job there just joining that nuke. The engagement ends in no blood being spilled. I think PGG might have just wanted to go for the Storm there. Get at least one kill, but he holds onto the black hole and they get nothing.
Yeah, it was a really tough position. If he does not get the Storm, then the Storm will cancel it. If he doesn't get, well, if he gets a Storm, all the damage charges already went on the Lycanthrope, and they really wanted the Lycan dead. So whatever he chose, it was the wrong choice for Enigma, so he just basically held on his ultimate. That ultimate has such a long cooldown, so sometimes it's best to hold on it. So he did over there and gonna save it for another more critical engagement. M5, don't forget, they are a team fight based team. They could be having a disadvantage here and there, but it just takes one team fight to literally turn the game around. Malefic's being used on the bot lane here. Pajkatt trying to run. Are they gonna be blacking out? No. Midnight Pulse was dropped. Blood Angel was in position, but they didn't feel the need to do so. So again, saving Black Hole, drawing a couple teleport scrolls. Lacoste, we haven't talked too much about him. He had a tough lane on the bot, but has been stealing some good spells, and he has Surge being. Oh, Surge is actually 6 spells to have.
Oh man, and he stole Scream of Pain earlier, which is not the easiest spell to steal because Queen of Pain has 3 other nukes, and particularly the Blink and the Shadow Strike she can use after it. And we saw in the Roshan engagement, he was just mowing down the Eidolons, the demonic conversions, from that Enigma instantly, which really makes it hard for M5 to fight. The conversions do a lot of damage. They also provide a decent amount of tanky power, just sort of distraction, disruption in team fights. Those are getting mowed down, and I mean, don't even forget about the burst damage he's doing towards the heroes if he ever gets caught. And really, how many times has Lacoste died? He's only gotten picked off twice, which really, yeah, 2 kills. It's one of the overall he is 1 and 2, but he's got 3 assists. He's getting close to a mechanism. He's getting close to level 11, and I really think Lacoste is the unsung hero of this game, along with Akke and the wards around Roshan. Right now, the game is settled into a very slow pace here. For M5, they're working towards the Scythe of Vice on Admir, which is nowhere near completion. He has not progressed at all since picking up this ultimate orb. I'm not sure if there's a big item. Maybe the BKB. Oh, here we go. I found it. It's the Blink Dagger on PGG.
Well, we talked about whether he needed the Blink. I said he didn't, and he proves me wrong. What do you think on this one?
Who are you going to blink on and catch? I mean, Storm can zip out, Burrow Strike, or blink away from the Sand King. Rubik has the potential to blink away or surge away, depending on what spells he steals. It's not going to be easy to find the key heroes. And there's also 3 ways to cancel him, at least, maybe more if Rubik steals a disable of some kind. Bottom lane PGG, look at the damage. Well, Blink Dagger ain't helping you get out of that one, that's for damn sure.
Wow, that was...
It's an aggressive item, but I just don't know if they're finding the openings they need to make it work.
And of course, even if you have Blink, Pajkatt had Invisible Wolf trailing the Enigma. As soon as they decided to go on him, the Wolves started attacking, canceling the Blink, and there was no chance. When Stormsphere zipped in, Lacoste picked them in the air. It was big play here from Pajkatt, and they're going to get a tier 1 tower out of this. And meanwhile, M5, look at how aggressively they're diving, but Akke, somehow he knows. He knows. He's like, yeah, I'll just defend mid, no big problem here. And they're going to get a tier 1 tower for free. Now the defensive ping on the top tower, they know that M5 is going to be pressuring that, and CLG getting ready to defend that tower as well. Another trade. Well, we can't really call that a trade because Radiant got nothing in return.
They're going to try for something in return, and I think for CLG, they're just going to be fine to push the tier 2 here. Trading tier 1s for tier 2s, especially along the bottom lane, going to be so helpful for that next Roshan engagement. M5 get 1. The question now is, do they back off? It looks like they will. Silent RTP now. I assume the rest are shortly to follow if they see that M5 is still pushing, and if CLG is still pushing, and in fact, they are still pushing. Pajkatt, by the way, it is going to be an Ogre Club for him, working towards the BKB, not far off of it, and once that BKB is up, the only way to lock him in place, the only way to do anything to deal with him, is going to be that black hole. And being forced to catch Lycan in a black hole, and there are 3 other heroes that can cancel it, that's tough, especially without a BKB on this Enigma.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the Blink Dagger, it's not like Blink Dagger is a bad item. I'm not saying that. It's a great item, one of the best items on Enigma, but you are giving up half of your blacking bar to get it, and he is going to be late on the BKB. And you talked about the importance of BKB. There's Blink Burrow Strike already. There's a Storm Surge with a Zip. Lacoste could, walk in position and telekinesis up him in the air. There's just too many ways to get. There's just too many ways. Blink! Black hole! He finds it out of nowhere. Sonic Wave. Vigoss pops the BKB. They get 1 kill. Miracle has no chance for a second. I take back what I just said about the Blink. PGG, you know Enigma. I don't. Wow.
Gets 2. The question is, how much more do they get out of this? Misery pushing the bottom lane. We saw this in CLG versus, who was it? Was it Complexity or maybe it was IG? The Storm Spirit and the Lycan combination constantly split pushing. They're fighting against the backdoor region. They will get the tier 2. And Roshan respawning in a couple of minutes, so getting that tower very important. They back off after 2. They get the 2 kills, they get the tier 2 at the expense of a black hole. Great use there. BKB charge was used as well, but M5 gets something big. Bottom lane, it's a zip in. They won PGG after a great black hole. Probably going to take a fall here. Misery, low on mana, has the Oblivion staff picked up. More importantly, has the Aegis. Even if he dies once, probably will be okay again. Vacuum, silence, Void will cancel the TP. Can they kill him again? No sight device up. Wab, 400 gold away. A really well-timed vacuum might do it. Nope, zip away. He'll be okay. That Aegis coming into play. Are they really still chasing this? Maybe they... No, he should be fine. I think. Maybe not. No, he's screwed, man. He's out of mana now. One more blink will do him in. No wand charges to work with. Misery. Oh, this is going to be a big kill. Not worth killing PGG at all for that one. That delays an Orchid by a lot. Great pickoffs for M5.
Only M5 would chase from the from the ancient camp on the Radiant jungle all the way to the top room against a Storm Spirit, no less. That's insane. And they got it. This is M5 we know and love.
You know, I think the big mistake there was using the TP before he died, because otherwise he comes back to life with full mana and could probably zip a long way and just TP out. But that's hindsight is 2020. Blink in middle lane, Silent taking some good damage. Medallion, look at how fast he gets chomped up. So much lockdown. Both teams with insane initiation, man. This is what makes for exciting Dota. When both teams can jump into any time and just instantly stop your face into the curb, you never know who's going to win, but it is going to come down whoever jumps first. Whoever gets that perfect opening, they're going to be the ones who win this game.
Well, for now, I'm checking out the net worth, and it seems like Radiant has 3 heroes that's leading. It is actually Sand King that's highest on the dire side. pajkatt struggling on his farm in his own right. We haven't really talked about this. But CLG not looking too good. The Radiant, they haven't been farming. They've been ganking all day. And yet another gank's on the top lane. The Fear to open up, vacuum backwards. Misery down to half HP. The Urn doing some damage. Couple more right clicks is gonna do it. Misery, well, Misery somehow jukes his way out. He's gonna survive. And now lacoste, the defensive TP, and the mech up. Perfect jukes here from Misery. And as I said, pajkatt, he somehow has caught right back up on the net worth with farm. Some
ankles may have been twisted there. I'm not going to say they're broken just yet, but goddamn, what a juke. That was all about the fog there. And even with that level 3 silence, which lasts for 7 seconds, they couldn't kill him off. Still, he's not farming during this time. He goes back to base. Misery is being denied quite a bit. And I got to say, the game where I was talking about this earlier, where we saw Lycan and Storm carrying CLG to victory, I believe was versus IG, might have been versus Complexity, and Beyond the Summits World Tour. Those 2 heroes had fantastic starts. They were fat as hell, man. They are not anywhere near being that big in this game.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that these 2 heroes will excel in is their global presence. They're not really global hero per se, you know, like with Teleport or Boot to Travel. They just run very, very quickly. They could bypass a lot of ganks. But M5 has shown that they can chase you, and they will chase you. So I don't think they could have the same line of play where they basically, you know, try to play it very close. You can see that right now. pajkatt as well as Miracle, they're setting up for some big gank. They do see Blood Angel, and I think Blood Angel is going to be their choice, but it's going to be somewhat difficult. Here we go, Ultimate not being channeled, but the zip in, the silence, look at all those spells. Never mind, the pipe was not enough, because if you can't activate the pipe, it won't do you too much good.
That's the concern for M5, isn't it, right now? It's not just the pipe, it's also the mech, and PGG heading towards the BKB. But if he gets caught, BKB only helps you if you get to pop it. The same, I mean, they're not gonna kill off vigoss unless he's really far out of position, which is possible. He is vigoss, and he likes to be deep in enemy territory. But everyone on M5, if they get caught, I feel they're all squishy enough to be brought down. For me right now, they need to get those big tank items up, things like Vitality Booster, Point Booster, pajkatt chomping away at Roshan, scouted out here by Silent, pushing in mid, one of the best ways to deal with it. Look how far vigoss was diving, trying to backstab the enemy shop. pajkatt runs out, pajkatt runs back in. He wants this Roshan, and the great thing for him is he can kill it by himself. Miracle waiting, perched in the secret shop. This is so hard to initiate on, but if anyone can do it, it probably is vigoss. Looks like they're going to give this away for free. Not even pressure on top. Big zip in for Misery. Intimidation zip. pajkatt gets another Aegis. Almost 16. And by the way, that net worth, it was because his BKB was on the courier. He is actually the most farmed hero in the game.
Oh, looks like the zip in here from Misery, but Misery, he gets hexed up from, oh, where's the black hole from PGG? My eyes is on you, he can't pop his mech. The black hole just on pajkatt, and Miracle blinks right in. The steal of the anti-black hole from Lacoste. Poison Nova gets raw, the wall on top of everything. No, Sanking cannot drop something, or it was cancelled right here. Now Vigoss very low, he's gonna go down to the poison. Pajkatt barely survives, but the chase will go to the other way. Blink here from the Queen of Pain with a double damage. Someone's gonna pick up that regen root, and suddenly pajkatt being surrounded by 4. Pajkatt has no chance, and it's Radiant that wins the team fight. I called it earlier. In a swingy game like this, if you win a team fight, you have a huge lead in the game. Vigoss buys back. They sense blood in the water, and like sharks, they're gonna charge up that ramp. They want some damage on that tower.
You know, to me, M5 is more piranha than shark because they're hunting in a pack this game, and whenever we see M5 struggle is when they're getting caught out one by one, but everybody on the same page, synchronized aggression. They actually do, the buyback is forced, but they get rid of the Aegis, and for me, that's the big thing, because now you don't have to worry about pajkatt twice. How often do we see a fight where a black hole is stolen, and you don't win the fight? The big thing for me in that fight, not sure if you caught it on the camera, but Miracle channeled his epicenter, then popped the BKB after being Malefaced by PGG. That's why there was no epicenter. If he pops the BKB first, there's a decent chance CLG wipes M5 in that fight.
Well, the black hole did catch him eventually, so it was very close either way, but definitely cancel your own epicenter was not helpful in that regard. Miracle making a very rare mistake, but now, yes, M5 will definitely take that one. They're going to get a little bit more farm during this crucial daytime. How do you rank the second night here, from 1 to Michael Jackson status for Vigoss?
Oh, it's Vigoss, man. He's got a BKB, he's got a point booster. Now, this is something Night Stalker is weak at as a hero. He's not good at farming aggressively. He's not the fastest farmer, so he needs to get a lot of kills and a lot of towers to stay in the game, to keep up with a hero like Lycan. Big zip in top lane, they want Admir. Little does he know that Blood Angel's there in reserve. Scythed up, but Misery has a haste and will be okay. No way to purge that one off him right now. Shadow Demon, nowhere near the vicinity. So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. Vigoss doesn't have the big items, but at the same time, for me, the beauty of M5's lineup is, we saw it from CLG last game, everybody can contribute. Maybe the one hero that I would say normally can't is Silent, but he's got a Force Staff, he's got a Bracer, Drum's coming out soon. There's no hero who's horribly far behind who's just food. And for me, that means M5, it's not all on Vigoss' shoulders, like it so often is.
Right. Now, one thing that we haven't talked about too much is Misery's Orchid. I mean, in this game, there's so many silence, there's so many stuns. What do you feel about that choice, you know, forgoing the Hex, forgoing the BKB, to go for the Orchid first?
You know, the thing about it is, I think Misery's just dying too much to be able to farm it up. Farming up the Hex is, it's one thing when you have a big lead. The other thing that you often talk about is Orchid is the most efficient item in terms of increasing your mana pool regen. Because with Ball of Lightning, it removes a percentage of your mana every time casted. So if you keep your percentage of your total mana pool low, but then you have a higher percentage regen, overall, you'll be able to use Ball of Lightning more. So in that respect, it's the best item for Storm to keep his mana up. The problem is, for me, he needs a BKB now. There's no way he can get a Scythe of Ice. There's just too many ways to lock him down. One silence, and he turns from an amazing hero into a worthless one. And you know Vigoss is going to be hunting him, focusing him in these fights. And with the BKB, Vigoss can do it. So he's got to find a way to farm a BKB. Question is he going to be able to? Will M5 give him that time? The third night is approaching pretty soon.
Yep, and of course, with Darkness, he can turn on that that artificial night anytime he wants. Stormster zipped in, no silence being popped. There's a silence, blink, blur, trap, perfect chain sense so far. Telekinesis upwards, Vigoss, no chance. What a bait from CLG. Now you see me, now you don't, and Misery comes right back, and the tower is going to go down. No trades. M5 is not a team that likes to trade. They either take stuff or they give it back. And now CLG, they're getting small incremental advantage, and they're showing their global presence. How do you stop that kind of tactic?
Yeah, now we're sort of falling into CLG's wheelhouse right now, right? Because this is what they like to do. Buy the small-scale pickoffs, but avoid the big team fights. Sure, you've got a Sankey with a Blink Dagger, but you're up against a Darkseer, a Queen of Pain, and an Enigma. That team fight is overwhelmingly strong. Even when you steal a Black Hole, it might not be enough. If CLG find these kills, every time they find one, that's about 2 minutes or so where they can have heroes farming, pushing the top lane, farming the enemy Ancients, pushing the mid lane, and avoiding direct confrontations. Then, by the time that hero respawns, you find another kill, you reset, you reload, you do it all over again. If that goes on long enough, I think CLG is going to be in great shape. For M5, they just can't give away those pickoffs, not because the deaths matter, but because while those heroes are dead, they can't really do what they want to do, which is to be aggressive and find kills.
Miracle finds himself an invis ring, gonna high perch in the tree, and they're gonna use a hero to bait again, or they're gonna just use this creep wave to bait. They see vigoss, and right now this entire team is ready to go. pajkatt.
This one's gonna be harder though. He's at the tier 3.
He's at the tier 3, and Storm isn't here. They really need Storm to open it up, but he's walking upwards slowly. Is Miracle gonna channel his ultimate? Yeah, I think they're. Yep, there we go. They're gonna channel the ultimate. Where is the telekinesis? The BKB, the chase them wasn't there, but. Well, answering teleport gets cancelled as well. Purge goes on Miracle. Miracle's gonna sandstorm the first one. He gets Hex. He's done. And that's the price you pay sometimes when you don't get those ganks off.
You know, but they lose one, but they force out a BKB charge. 5 heroes arrive at top. pajkatt lives. He's up to 3.4k. Lacoste lives. Yule Scepter picked up. I love this item choice. Great item to have against a hero like Night Stalker. Gives you another way to cancel that Enigma Black Hole. You could also just throw Night Stalker or Queen of Pain up in the air if they charge. And same with Darkseer. Having smaller scale fights is really what CLG wants from me. And Yule Scepter allows you to have a few moments where it is a smaller scale engagement. M5 have had enough, man. They're tired of getting ganked upon. They're barreling down mid. Night Stalker almost 16, but no BKB for them. It'll cool down soon. Can they take this fight? Is this what they should be doing?
I don't know if they can do it, but I don't think they should. BKB is so key for vigoss. It just turned daytime, but with the pipe.
Early.
Yeah, I mean, it's such an early pipe. Daytime just came back on, and now they just have to back off. Perhaps they just wanted that 200 extra damage on the tower, which is a fair choice. I mean, now they're going to back off safely. They didn't have to give up anything for that one. But it was a very risky play.
You know, whenever against the Storm, whenever you decide to back off from a push, you have to be so careful to back off as a group. Because if one hero, you'll see this in pub games all the time. Like in that case, when the team backs off, someone's going to go farm in the enemy jungle. But if you do that, Misery is zipping in and killing you. So I like that M5, they disperse as a group. They don't give up any easy kills. And I can't say this enough. I mean, how many times have we watched M5 just play too aggressively? They made a couple of mistakes here or there. They've gotten picked off. But they're not making those big blunders that we've seen from PGG, from vigoss. When you're aggressive players, that's the one thing you have to be careful about. And it goes against your nature too, right? Is not to overextend, not to overcommit. I'm not saying M5 are going to win this game, but they are showing remarkable poise here, through and through. And it's looking like a game that could definitely go either way. Oh, so Rubik gets a kill bottom. Hopefully you caught that one. Only a silent getting picked off. Not the biggest loss, but CLG finds a kill, and that means more opportunities to be aggressive. Speaking of aggression, Misery waiting to pounce in that middle lane.
Yeah, he's waiting to pounce, but he needs a little bit more support. Blood Angel is going to be farming. Ancient zipped here back in the mid lane just for the farm, but on the top, looks like M5 wants to get for a little bit of aggression there as well. Teleportation goes back. Right now, this is a big game of cat and mouse, and mid lane here, Misery gets silenced up. We need a Black Hole for sure. Look at Misery, how low? He's going to go down. Wow, the Malefice keeping in place. Sonic Wave, big damage output, and now Miracle, very low passive BKB, has a TP, the Black Hole, just for the cancel. Not sure it's worth it, but they are definitely going to get this kill. As I say that though, Burrow Strike back out, Blink Dagger up from PGG, Malefice is going to connect here, and Miracle is going to go down. 2 kill for the expense of a Black Hole. Not too sure it's worth it, but pajkatt, again, up to his games, pushing by himself.
You know, man, this is... Oh, he's actually going to breach high ground here. No, Silent will be there. That will force him back. He could have just sat in Sandstorm, aside from the Black Hole to cancel it. M5 have been running around without detection pretty much the entire game. And they've been getting away with it. I guess he just hasn't noticed yet. It's so hard to check 4 hero inventories in that situation. Not criticize you, but if he just wants to hide in Sandstorm, they don't have too many ways to deal with it now. Here they go, pipe pop. Maybe a tiny bit early, but better timing this time, I have to say. All the big AoE ultimates are up except for Black Hole. Queen of... Actually, no, sorry. Only the walls available. Gale hits them too. They're going to back off. Vigoss thrown back. Where's the BKB? Needs to pop it now. Will it be enough? pajkatt pops a BKB of his own, and there's no Black Hole. There's no way to deal with this angry wolf except juking like a boss. Vacuum in on 2. Scream of pain. They want Akke. Akke locked in place. Akke will go down. pajkatt in the backlines. Finds 1 kill. Now he wants more. Akke probably going to go down here. Finally, Admir cleans him up. A zip in. Misery bought back for this one. No, sorry. That was actually vigoss. Misery taking a lot of damage. BKB gets popped. He's dying real quickly to these illusions, though. Will get PGG. He wants more. The chase continuing. Blood Angel trying to run away. Will he escape? Miracle blinks in. Burrow Strike not available. Zips the wrong way. Still has a bit of mana. Oh, he's spotted. They catch the set. They catch him out. 3 heroes getting picked off. This is a disaster right now for M5. Losing 3. As well as dropping that ultimate. All the big AoE ults on quota. BKB charges expended. and they don't get racked. They don't even get to tier 3.
And the Roshan critically just respawned right now, and that's a Roshan respawn against a lycanthrope. Lycan already dashing down for that. The cost not even back to full HP. He's gonna go straight for the Rosh. It's absolutely free. And now pajkatt and his team will claim this. This one will give the Aegis and the cheese. So both Stormspirit as well as the lycanthrope will have a big boost up. And giving a Stormspirit a cheese or Aegis is absolutely huge. You can see that Misery already giving his inventory a free slot. He's like, come to Papa. This is mine.
Yeah, it doesn't want anybody to come in and try and jack that. And even vigoss is not going to go for this. pajkatt, Assault Cuirass picked up. Every time we see this guy play Lycan, he's always the top farmer. And I know to a lot of people in the stream, it's like, well, what's the big deal? Lycan always farms well. Actually, in pro games, recently he has not been having as many good games as you would expect. He had a losing win rate in Beyond the Summits World Tour. Even other tournaments I watched, this hero did not always get the farm. It's not just pajkatt, it is the team as well that set him up. And well, CLG, they have an Aegis. Misery has his BKB and 2k gold in the bank. These two heroes are getting fat as hell. Cheese onto Miracle. It's time for CLG, at least they feel, to be aggressive, put the hurt on M5, and they just might be able to do it.
CLG, smoke ganking, looking for more. I think they are one pick off away from doing some big destructive damage to the towers. They see Silent. Oh no, Silent immediately burrow strike. He just has no chance. He barely lands from telekinesis, and he's dead. As good as Silent's been playing, I mean, his team is really far away from him constantly because they're setting up ganks. He's constantly getting picked off, and he's really starting to fall behind.
It's really, there's just no place for him on the map right now. It's not, I would actually say I don't think Silent's positioning has been bad, because the only thing he could do is basically stay at his base. He literally cannot keep up with the 3 core heroes, the Darkseer, the Queen of Pain, the Night Stalker, so it's not like he can just trail behind them. Plus they need someone on base defense. And the other big thing is, you know, CLG have so much range, and when you play this kind of a ganking style, it's very easy to spread. You spread the map, but that also means your spread thing, and they can pick you off. So I don't even fault Silent. I just think it's the nature of the lineup that he's getting caught out. Oh, Misery. He's got his eye on the prize here. That prize maybe being vigoss, maybe being Admir. The zip in, not going to find anyone, but they are closing in right now. Admir hiding as best he can. TP out. Darkseer will escape. Admir, is he really staying here? He's terrified right now. There's the blink away. Lacoste spots him. Where's that telekinesis? Not going to find it, but pajkatt comes in. Will he actually be able to kill him off fast enough? I don't think so. pajkatt turned into a sheep. He will run away. And he lives. But it's not a good sign when you're running Night Stalker, Queen of Pain, Darkseer this aggressively, and you're the ones running away.
Yep, I mean, they forced out pajkatt's ultimate, which means little to nothing at this point. He's level 16, has such a short cooldown, such a long duration. So he's, I mean, he could pop that in the small engagement like that and have it completely ready for the teamfight engagement that was soon to follow. At this point here, I think we could both agree that CLG has a slight edge. Question is, will they actually take advantage of that edge and start pushing, or are they going to just feel comfortable and keep on farming?
It's so dangerous, right? Because you're up against Enigma, Queen of Pain, Darkseer. If you get out of position, I don't care if you have an anti-mage and a Morphling with max inventory, you will still get wiped by that Darkseer, especially with the black hole on top of it. Oh, they are going to make it go, though. Zip in. Great blink away there by Admir. Burrow Strike, though. They catch a Blood Angel. Can they kill him? Queen of Pain, vacuum back in. Where's that black hole? Gets 2. Catches Misery on the edge. Are you kidding me? PGG. Miracle's still alive. Miracle takes a fall. Misery in the fight. Once PGG. Zip onto the high ground. Malphus on the Misery. Looks like everyone's going to back off, but they find Admir. Black hole and a wall for 1 and the for 2 and the buyback. Zipping all over the place. In the end, they force out the big old disruption. Is this fight over yet? Doesn't look like it. Lacoste, black hole stolen, and goes the other way. Immediately canceled by vigoss. M5 get another kill. The question is going to be who's buyback in a moment's time. pajkatt has the BKB. Probably going to have to use it. Can't TP out, though. What do you do here? You wait for that ult form to cooldown, pop your BKB, and try and run. But I don't think he's going to be able to. I believe this will be 4 heroes dead. An Aegis used. A cheese used. pajkatt gets the ult up, gets the BKB. Are you just body block out of their minds right now? M5 vacuum back in. Malphus, they're really going to catch up pajkatt. He's got buyback. He's going to have to use it here as he takes a little more damage. pajkatt goes down. That black hole catching Storm on the edge. Lumi, I cannot believe what I'm seeing.
Well, you better believe it. M5 is going to cement their advantage by pushing up on the high ground. Akke doing his best shot to put down those wards, but these wards are not enough. Buyback coming in from everybody. Stormster zips right in. He finds PGG. The teleport, the pull, not going to be enough. The vacuum backward. Misery dies a second time. He buys back. Everybody's saving buyback. Big epicenter being channeled. Will that be enough? Blood Angel, the first one to fall perhaps. Stormster zipping in from the background. Blood Angel's going to die to the last last tower shot. Still Misery looking to do work. He's really down to half mana. Still zipping in. He sees Silent long range pull. He's going to get him. The Silent coming in. The right clicks are... Wow, they do get the right click down. They're going to get the kills. And they do defend. It took both teams multiple buybacks. I do not know who really is in the lead, to be honest here.
Are you... M5, that was a picture-perfect fight. They forced some buybacks, but here's the concern for them. If there are buybacks, if there's Aegis and Cheese available, they're kind of a one-shot deal. Where's that sustained damage? Where's that reliable chasing ability, that reliable lockdown? They don't have anything like a Basher on the Night Stalker or a damage item on the Queen of Pain. That epicenter, it looked huge, but there are 4 BKBs on M5 right now. It actually, or sorry, there's only 3. There's 3 BKBs, a pipe, and a mech. It was a great epicenter, but it just didn't do anything. Still, I don't know how M5 win in a longer engagement. For me, that's got to be the big concern. I'm very curious, what are your thoughts? What should they be building for? What should they be doing to try and deal with that second fight?
I don't think it's item or buy. Well, buyback is always important in this game. I think it's the continued pickoff that CLGs has been doing. You're absolutely right when you said that CLG cannot take this fight heads on. You can see again Misery just hiding on the trees. He's waiting for someone to farm this and then just go in. They have to go for pickoffs and then build a small advantage here and there. They have to go for a 2-3 hero pickoff and then just go for a racks. At this point, M5 they're looking so powerful. 3 or 4 BKB like you talked about. A lot of the magical damage being completely nullified from the CLG side. And right now, the patience from Misery, the patience from Lacoste, that's what's going to keep them in the game. They're literally just sitting there doing nothing. They're giving up farm, but they're going for the pickoffs. They're going for the bait. But M5, I think they fell for those baits 1 times too many, and they're going to go for pickoffs on their own. And I got to tell you, Night Stalker during nighttime, significantly better when it comes down to pickoffs, especially with that Axe setup.
By the way,
they see everything.
Oh yeah, Ag Scepter and a gem. It's kind of late. I would have liked to see this earlier, but still a great item to have. They want to find someone so badly. Both teams smoked up. We see this so often. It's really funny to watch. One team smokes one way, runs all over that side of the map. The other team smokes here, hangs out here. In the end, nobody ends up finding each other. The smoke will be running out soon. And with that smoke down, I mean, both teams are going to have a little more idea of what's going on. One thing I'm concerned about for M5 is they don't have the best vision around the map right now, mainly because all the lanes are being pushed in. That's the problem about smoking versus Lycan and a Storm who can push this hard. All of the lanes are pushing in. CLG see a lot. M5 see virtually nothing.
Well, I mean, there's 4 observer wards on the Radiant side on the map, though. So, yeah, but you're right. The creep is constantly pushed. Storm straight. They see Teal on the mid lane. Not going to go for vigoss with the BKB. A little bit hard, but they do see Blood Angel. Blink, Burrow Strike. Zip in here for Blood Angel. Blink, Black Hole. That's on 2 as well. Sonic Wave. That's going to be a quick kill on 2 hero. And even if they buy back, it's very far away from the engagement. Self-cycling here from the... Oh, Vacuum here on the other side, but Akke's going to go down. TP out from Lacoste. He TP's out, but the fight has already happened. They have lost a fight big time. Pajkatt on the run by himself. He should be fine. Wow. M5
There's no buyback on that Storm right now. He's done for a minute and a half. I'm not sure if it's enough, but M5 are going to force the issue. Definitely the correct decision here. Venomancer has buyback available just barely. Sand King does as well. But without the Storm, that's the big hero to jump in first and set everyone else up. There is an epicenter. This could be a huge fight for CLG if they can find the opening. But a Night Stalker with an Aghanim jump, they find Lacoste. The Void isn't going to be enough damage. No, Admir's overextended. Thrown back, locked in place. Great disruption. You talked about it. Silent vacuum on 4 into the wall. The tower is down. It's all about the racks. Can M5 get it? Will they back off? It looks like they're thinking about backing off. They're just waiting for the creep wave. Another round. Here we go. The racks is going to fall quick. There's the glyph. CLG, where is that epicenter? There we go, epicenter on 2. BKB up a miracle, but the pipe, the mech, keeping everyone alive. Surge away. Pajkatt, BKB pop. Can he find a kill before this BKB runs out? Doesn't look like it. Malefice by PGG. Silent picks up a kill from the poison of Venomancer. 4-step onto the high ground. Pajkatt doing absolutely nothing when that BKB is down. And Void feels like it's very short right now. Down to only a 6-second duration. Still, M5 not claiming racks just yet. The defense successful by CLG.
25-23 is your score so far, although that might change. Stormster is back, and he's looking for some. He's going to see vigoss. He's going to kill vigoss. Still healthy on the mana. He sees Amir. Amir very low. Amir blinks out. Blood Angel's going to be next. He sees Amir. Amir, no, still alive. Has a haste room. It's going to be back out. Now Misery out of mana at this point. Amir does have the Hex coming off cooldown just a couple of seconds, but they are not going to chase for it. A 3 for nothing engagement goes the one-way push down on tower, and forcing out a couple couple buyback, and now right now CLG roaring back for a 3-for-2. I think CLG still losing on the long run, but sooner or later CLG, I mean, if you give them a minute, they will rise out that minute. It's so difficult to push out against Stormster. It's so difficult to push against Lycan. Roshan, by the way, back for another time. CLG has got, what, 3 Roshan so far? They're going to claim themselves the 4th one right here.
That was a big fight for CLG because not only do they defend the racks, but that gives their buybacks time to cool down. Yes. And they have the money for it as well. Misery's got it. Pajkatt's got it. They're going to have Aegis and Cheese too. There's really nothing M5 can do to contest this. So it's not even 7 lives. It's approaching 9+. And I'm not sure do the supports of buyback. Lacoste looks like he might just. Venomancer does not. He already bought back. Doesn't do too much anyway. Sandking does not. But that's at least 9 lives counting the buybacks, maybe 10. Good luck winning 2 team fights when you rely on Black Hole and Wall to do it. For M5, they have to find that one fight, get rid of the Aegis and Cheese, and back off. I just don't see them winning 2 in a row.
Well, they've been trying to win 2 in a row. Every time they win a fight, they charge up the hill, and they're paying for it. But at the very least, they're forcing for buyback. One thing about buybacks, yes, immediately you're not losing the game. You're protecting for the Raxus, but you're not gaining any items for 10 minutes later down the road as well. We're looking right now at the Stormster. He has Orchid, he has BKB. That's it. We're 50 minutes in the game. That's very, very far behind. BKB is so curious, and a Vlad's on Lycan. I don't think that's too good either. Sandking, not too good, just 2 core items. I feel like, yes, they're buying back, they're keeping alive, but their item progression has been really, really slow.
You know, and the big hero for M5 who is having a great item progression, if he wants to go for it, is Admir, who could just about buy an MKB. I think he can buy the Demon Edge now and then still have buyback, so I'd like to see that out of him if he has enough. Doing the math in my head quickly. Yeah, it looks like he should have it. I don't think he's on a crazy long kill streak. He has 4 deaths to his name. So, to me, Queen of Pain and Night Stalker in the ultra late game can actually out DPS Lycan and Storm. The big thing for them is they're just better at chasing in prolonged team fights. Night Stalker is going to have Hunter Knight for the full team fight. Lycan only has his ult to work with, relies heavily on that BKB. Big smoke gank though. They catch out Admir. This is going to force that buyback if he has it. We're about to find out. Tries to blink out. Lives with 15 HP, 115, excuse me. Misery, one more zip, gets the kill. Now the chase is on. They want silence. They get 1. Will they get more is the big question. Miracle trying to find an opening. Blood Angel lurking on the high ground. A bit of a ninja here. They get 1. They force the buyback. That's huge. It delays the massive damage item. But that's also it. They don't get anything else.
Yep, and Demon Edge has been delivered to the Queen of Pain, and now the chase goes the other way. I do believe M5, I don't think they're ready for this chase. Stormster is very low in terms of mana, but he does that cheese, so he could pop it if this desperate situation really calls for it. CLG will back up for now. They will perch up on the high ground. Aggie getting ready, defending by putting down swords. They're going to give Misery some time to grant some mana. Misery, by the way, 4.2k gold in his bank. Will have the buyback available. Is he going to buy an item right now? And if so, what item do you think he should get?
I just don't know at this point. To me, buyback is by far objective number 1 for this team. And I just don't know really what would you get at this point? I guess a Sight Device would be nice, but even then, there's so many BKBs, and you already have the pull to start things off. In theory, it's great. You get a double disable, you delay the BKB charges from being popped. I don't think there's one item that's going to make a huge difference for Storm at this point. Maybe if he gets 2 items, maybe even a damage item on top of that Sight Device, then he's looking pretty fearsome. But just 1, I don't think it's enough, and the components aren't going to do anything for him. So I think saving right now is absolutely fine. Pajkatt is the one guy who could buy another item real soon if he wants to do so. But really, he's being kited so effectively. I don't know, unless he can buy an item that gives him a spammable blink, I don't know how he's going to actually make that item work.
Cyclone in the air because Pajkatt using his wolves to scout, invisible scout all out throughout the entire game. Silence going to get picked off once again. Not even able to drop that purge off. Is that enough to actually force a push though? I think killing Silent means absolutely nothing at this point.
Yeah, it's killing him and the Venomancer. These 2 heroes, they have some items. I talked a lot earlier. Oh, Admir, something gets stolen by Lacoste. That's the blink. This could be a great chase for them. He's gonna have to TP out. I don't know why he's just blinking away, but he's gonna get caught off here. His BKB runs out. Another burrow streak. Admir already used his buybacks. Remember, if he dies, that means no Queen of Pain. There's your big damage dealer out of the fight for 90 seconds. At M5, such great positioning all game long, especially for a team like them who often get caught out of position, but they get caught out there. Middle lane pushing in, but I think CLG are going to try and force this, and 3 on 5, I think they can.
Well, I mean, they forced you by TP Squirrels back to the mid lane here. I mean, good pushing like you mentioned here from M5. And I don't think they're going to do it without Miracle. You talked about the Epicenter not being too effective, but the Burrow Strike is really, really key. And right now, Miracle got to focus on the siege unit. It's hurting their racks. The top 5 is going to be breaking out. Black Hole going to be casted on just 1 hero. The counter Black Hole, that's going to be on 3. Lacoste is a real PGG right here. Blood Angel silenced up. He's done. Buyback being forced out from PGG. Buyback being forced out on the Darkseer. They're back, and CLG, they also have to face against 6 or 7 lives. Misery out of HP, out of mana. He is silenced up. Misery so low, he's okay. Cyclone on the low ground. And that should be it. But as I say, that Blood Angel's chasing out. Burrow Shrek from afar. Epicenter being channeled. No defensive disruption. It's going to block most of the pulses, but he's going to come back in a hard place. Oh no. PGG and Vigoss on the high ground in big trouble. Blood Angel, he's Burrow Shrek'd up. He's so tanky, but will it be enough? He's so low. Pajkatt pops his ultimate for a second time. They're going to get a kill right outside of the base. Tier 2 tower still up alive. At this point, will CLG have the HP to keep on pushing? I don't think so, because Queen of Pain is back really soon. They gotta back off. CLG cannot be playing too aggressively. Queen of Pain's back.
This game may never end, man. 4-step in, solid device on the Pajkatt, the ult. They want to assassinate him. The Lycan ult is cooling down. BKB not used by Admir as he blinks in. Look at the right clicks. Defensive disruption force. No black hole for PGG. Pajkatt will take a fall once the ult is coming back up. The BKB, I believe it is. No, it's on cooldown. Pajkatt will back off, but they force out the Aegis. They don't lose anyone. Not too bad of a trade. At this point, everyone's BKB has to be just about down to 5 charge, or the 5 charge. So really using it as long as you get a kill, as long as another fight doesn't happen, that's going to be absolutely fine. The big thing in that fight is now CLG have access to that next set of big items. Storm Spirit bought something huge on the courier. That's the site device almost completed. Pajkatt sitting on a massive pile of gold, 6k. And they still have, do they have a cheese still? Actually, I guess they used that.
They used it. It was on the Storm Spirit, and he popped it in the last engagement and still went down. The focus fire on the Storm Spirit was absolutely crucial. At this point, 6,000 gold, like you mentioned, on Pajkatt. I think he might even just get a Guinsoo. As awkward as it might sound, I feel like his chasing power has just been very lackluster. Either that, or he's going to go Basher into Abyssal Blade. I really feel like he needs some really reliable lockdown.
The thing about Abyssal Blade is it gives him a ton of damage, and it gives him that 1 stun, but the cooldown is so long on active, so then you rely on the bashes. The problem with the bashes is, he's got a 5-second BKB. As long as Black Hole is up, it is going to be a basher. Looking towards the Abyssal Blade. For now, he's got to save for buyback. And by the way, can I just say, Pajkatt is 10, 2, and 14 in a game with so many stuns, so many disables. The fact that he has only died 2 times is just breathtaking, especially up against the Queen of Pain. A Storm being in the game as well. Storm and Queen of Pain have died 14 times. 7 more times combined than Pajkatt. That is just insane, and it's not like those are easy to kill heroes. He is just so good with his positioning, his decision making. If he had gotten caught out once or twice more, I feel M5 would have already won this game.
Yeah, definitely. Couple of key item progressions here. Pajkatt finishes the Basher, saving go for buyback, or perhaps just saving go for the Abyssal Blade. Storm Spirit finished the Hex of Ice, or Scythe of Ice, and does not have buyback at all, only sitting at 70 gold at this moment. CLG, the rest of CLG does have a lot of gold. Lacoste does have enough gold to finish the full Hex as well, but not going for it because he's saving for buyback. Venomancer has 1700 gold, that's for buyback. Of course, Miracle does have 37. Could be Shiva's Guard if he wants it, but for now, also saving for buyback. So CLG, again, having that 10 life available, like you mentioned earlier. Roshan, by the way, back in about 3 minutes or so, 2.5.
Yeah, and it's just, I don't know how M5 are going to stop this Roshan. They've got such amazing heroes to fight in the pit. But the warding by Akke all game long, even now, so consistent, always having wards near the Roshan well before it respawns. It's still about 2 minutes off. If you can't sneak up on CLG, I don't know how you stop them from getting the Aegis and the cheese. It might not be enough for CLG to win. They keep on losing them, but I just feel like you get enough Roshans and Aegises, enough cheeses and Aegises your way. It's so much extra gold for your team. It's a decent chunk of experience to make sure all those supports are max level. Everybody is getting close to level 25. We are in uncharted territory. Bottom lane, disruption, soul catcher, epicenter just for silent, locked in place, BKB, popped by Misery, Sight device as well. Once Admir dropping low, BKB, he will escape. So many BKBs already used, and only for a Shadow Demon. Are they going to continue this push? I feel they can.
They cannot Dark Series Wall of Replica. You need BKB. You need BKB against the Vacuum as well, so they're going to back off. But that was a kill. I mean, BKB down at this point. There's no reason to keep them up because they're all at 5 seconds already. Just pop those BKB. Just basically, they're using it as a gank. And they got the kill. They were going to back off for a little bit more farm. CLG, again, buying themselves so much more time. I think they could actually safe upgrade all those items I mentioned earlier and still retain buyback very close to at least. Look at lacoste. He's diving towards that secret shop. He is going to get his Winsu right here. Yep.
Oh, man.
Oh,
this might be it. This might be what they need for CLG. Another Scythe of Vice up to go with Misery. Double Scythe of Vice. And then you have pajkatt. Oh, DD on him. As though he needed more damage. He's got his Abyssal Blade. 3 big items picked up for CLG in the past 4 or 5 minutes.
They're not picking them up. They're saving for buyback. Look at lacoste. He doesn't want to spend the other 900 gold because he won't have buyback.
These are such big items to pick up. It might be one of those times where you just want to take the risk, but they're not going to do it. They are going to play it safe, and CLG ultimately is a very safe team.
Yep. We've seen them play relatively safe in game number 1 where they were such in a big lead, but they wouldn't go for it. And that double damage would be extremely helpful for this Roshan engagement. Look at the attack speed. He's working on the Rosh. And Rosh doesn't...
easy.
Yeah, Rosh doesn't feel like he has a rocky armor. It's made out of paper, it feels like, when lacoste is hitting him. And that would... Well, does he actually buy the full Abyssal Blade right now if he gets the Aegis? Well, he's not going to get it because here comes M5.
Rockman meet Dynamite Man, but he doesn't actually get the Roshan yet, and if he gets it, that means Abyssal Blade and an Aegis up and buyback as well. So denying this is so important for M5. I have no idea how they fight this. Miracle tucked away behind the enemy team. This is pretty bold by him, but it might mean a huge backstep. Epicenter, no ward. Oh, Misery zips in. What's vigoss? Meanwhile, the Epicenter, where is it? Miracle still not channeling it. They're looking for PGG. They want PGG. Roshan being focused out. M5 gets the Aegis, gets the cheese. The inventory slots are there. Everything picked up by them for nothing in exchange. And now it's lacoste caught out. Rubik might go down, but no, it's actually going to be Akke, the first hero to fall in this fight. pajkatt waiting in the wings, waiting for an opening. Epicenter, the pull. They get Admir. Admir did not have Aegis or cheese. Wall gets dropped, vacuum in on 2. Miracle running for his life. PGG blinks in, still no black hole. M5 with a massive Roshan engagement, and they get the Aegis, they get the cheese, everyone buys back, so it's sort of like it never happened, but this time they do it without using the black hole. This might be what they need to go high ground.
That was 5 buybacks! Nobody actually died. Look at the creep equilibrium though. Do you actually make this dive? I think it's M5's turn to play defensive. Sure, they have the Aegis, sure have the cheese, and they just force out 5 buyback, but they have to worry about their buildings. And look at Stormspirit on the bot lane. He's already getting ready to pressure that tower. I think M5 has to back off, and by the hero positioning, I think they are backing off. Forcing out 5 buyback was absolutely huge. But the silver lining here for CLG fan is that means they could actually, without impunity, now go for those Abyssal Blades or now Hexes and really take the enemy team on where the true potential truly lies.
You know, how much might those items have mattered in that fight? It's always this difficult decision for teams to make. Do you want to have a second life, or do you want to make that first life that much more potent? I think for CLG in retrospect, maybe it would have been better to buy those items. I really do think a couple of extra disables, the big damage upgrade on Lycan, might have made the difference there and allowed them to take Roshan. But just give M5 their due. They played that fight perfectly. The 3 semi-carries all in the pit together, focusing down Roshan. Items were on the ground. They immediately scooped up the Aegis and the cheese. And, you know, M5 just, they outmaneuvered CLG in that fight. And I feel like CLG was a bit out of position. Misery was trying to backstab, or sorry, Miracle on the Sand King. And that might not have been the right call there. He never really got off a great epicenter. By the time he did, Roshan was already dead. M5 played really well here in the late game.
Yeah, I feel like one of the most difficult things about casting M5 is that their team fights are absolutely hectic. And when you're playing a Night Stalker, when you're playing a Queen of Pain, when we have a hectic team fight, you're doing something correctly. Like one camera, you're fighting the team fight over multiple screens. And as difficult as for me to follow, it's even more difficult for CLG to follow when they don't have aerial, fog-free vision. And how do you respond, right? When somebody on the Skype set is yelling out, "I need help," and 3 people is yelling that at the same time, who do you actually help if you're the Sand King? Who do you actually help when you're Akke? So I think M5 just outpositioned CLG severely in that team fight. Forced out 3 or 4 buyback, 5 buyback. That was insane. And now, no buybacks here from CLG. They're going to go charge in. Creep equilibrium being pushed out. But look at Misery, though. Look at Misery. He's like, no. Come back, guys.
You know, I think they can just let him push. Honestly, he doesn't have that much damage. Maybe with Hal it'll be enough, but the Rex are exposed mid. Vigoss bull rushes in, Cheese and BKB up on him. Has he rebought his BKB? No, it is 5 seconds. Focusing the ranged Rex. I am not sure why. I guess they think they can get both. The pipe is used. Meanwhile, it is Misery. The Rex are going down. Ranged Rex first. Both teams focusing ranged Rex. Very strange play. Melee claimed by a pipe. Immediate TP's back. Misery wanting this one so badly. Oh no, the disruption. Where's the soul catcher? Where's the follow-up stuns? Not going to get them. Zips away. And meanwhile, it's back up top in the middle lane. Blood Angel. PGG blinks in again, catching two. And this time Rubik will not steal that ult. At least not easily. Lacoste being focused down. He will go down. Remember, M5 still have extra lives. There's no buybacks for CLG. One down. Miracle Chan in the epicenter is going to hit on two. A beautiful epicenter. The zip in. Misery once more over the top. Going to get two. Backing towards the wall, but not into it. And M5 with so many extra lives. Not winning this fight convincingly. They get a melee Rex. They defend bottom. But is it truly enough? The fight's not over. Blood Angel wants to TP out. Is going to get away. Blake in by Admir. This is that solo aggression that M5 like to run sometimes. Will it work? I'm not sure. This looks like an overextension to me. Silence going to go down. Admir blinks in. Goes for the big play. This is probably going to turn out to be a big mistake, though. One more zip. One more auto attack. Chopped to bits. And they had 7 lives. Multiple buybacks. They get a melee Rex, but is one enough at this point in the game?
It definitely is not enough. I mean, sure, Stormslayer only got a range Rex, but it's a range Rex. A creep equilibrium will slowly be pushing out there. I feel like CLG's a little bit better in their game when it comes down to split pushing. They have a hero that's a little bit harder to catch. I mean, there's a pajkatt with 522 movement speed. He does have that Abyssal Blade finish. 3,300 go in the bank. Look at him. He's delivering salve to himself at this point in the game. They want to pressure. There's a full minute here for when the Queen of Pain's dead. They want to knock down that tier 2. They want to even go for the high ground, or they might just run all the way bot and backstab that Rax. pajkatt again delivering salve. Such late stage game. 7 earn charges here on Akke. That's going to be extremely helpful. Now Misery leading the charge, focusing on those creeps. Tier 2 tower will be going down. Still 45 seconds to the Queen of Pain's revival. I think that's going to be enough time. No buyback here for Quap on the top lane. Blood Angel, though, slowly pressuring in. The Rax being sieged upon. No black hole here. Night Stalker not too strong. There is Blood Angel and Wild Black, but Misery jumps in. Burrow Strike to follow, but BKB blocking a lot for PGG. Oh no, the wall replica. pajkatt popping his BKB to run. Miracle limping out there. The blink. Nobody backstabbing on the bot Rex. I think pajkatt really could have done it throughout the chaos, but now Sand King dies, drops a gem. Stormslayer is going to be zipping out. Akke slithering away very slowly. They're going to be backing off, and they should be fine.
I don't think Akke is fine, but the rest of the team should get away. Blinken, the Malefice. I think everyone's buybacks have cooldown. Akke is in 30 seconds. Should be up in time, even if he dies. But forcing those buybacks almost as important as whether or not they have them. Poison Nova gets dropped. He will go down here. Disruption, Soul Catcher. Middle lane getting pushed out. The creep waves are big creeps, and that is going to make a huge difference here. Even though it's an exposed Rex, even though the creep equilibrium not in their favor, the lane will be going the other way. M5 barreling down mid again. They already have the melee Rex. The range Rex really not too significant at this point, but knocking down those buffer abilities will expose the tier 4s, which could make a difference in the long run. I have no idea who's going to win this game. Nobody watching the stream has any freaking clue, man. This is group stage action on day 1. Nothing is decided for this event. Nothing is even decided for this series. My voice, it may not last, but if it goes out, it's going to be worth it.
I got your back if voice runs out. M5 focusing on the range Rax is going to take that one. Now they turn their attention to the top without Venomancer and Sand King. CLG don't want to fight this. Venomancer buys back. How does he even have gold for buyback at this point? Stormslayer, by the way, he does have to go. PGG looking for the black hole here. Misery does not have what it takes to cancel it under the BKB. Where's the counter black hole? Nothing here just yet. Defensive disruption here being casted by the Shadow Demon. Silence goes on Misery. Misery down to half. The offensive silence goes on Vigoss. Man fight here. Stormslayer is going to go down. He has a buyback. He will use it right now. No building damage being done from M5. And now the chase goes the other way. Look at Misery. He says, I'm back. And he's not going to focus on Vigoss. Vigoss now going to turn on Akke. Ghost Scepter gets popped. Burrow Strike's going to hit. Now 3 for nothing engagement in the enemy base here. No buyback here for the Queen of Pain. No buyback here from the Night Stalker. And do we have buyback from Silent? You bet you not. And now it is CLG going the other way. They got a long way to go, but they have a lot of time. And I think they actually could claim the mid-racks.
There's no black hole. Again, PGG hitting good black holes, but not those overwhelming 5-hero black holes. And this is what we talked about. God, I thought it was late game 20 minutes ago when I brought it up. You know, they're sort of a one-shot punch even now. Nightstalker went for a Helm of the Dominator. No big damage items. Queen of Pain still has not completed the NKB, but the items just keep on piling up for CLG. pajkatt, he's had the Abyssal Blade for like 10 minutes now, maybe 8 to 10 minutes. And now he's also close to another item. Storm as well, 4.7k gold in the bag. They're going to get a racks here for sure. The question is, will they get anything more? If they get 2 or 3 sets of racks, that might be too much for M5 to come back from. But there's the wall. It gets dropped. Misery zips past it, bypasses those defenses. Once PGG, blink in, epicenter, burrow strike in, the Shivas as well. Locking Blood Angel down. He's still running away. The disruption though, and pajkatt, that angry wolf, chop, 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 chop. Gets 2 kills for the team, 4 dead, and that's gotta be it. I think M5, a valiant effort this game, but they are out of gas, and pajkatt's like, and it cannot be stopped. I have yet to see him lose a game with it.
And that streak still holds. Oh my goodness. Everybody playing out of their minds. You can see that Mirakel looking for the last racks in the game. And now M5, they're not calling GG yet. They believe they have a shot, but it's going to be such an uphill climb. They're facing in 3 huge lanes of Creep Equilibrium. They got to save for buyback. They got to save for big items. And at this point, I just don't think what they can do. I really believe CLG in the next fight, they could just save for buyback and charge in all 5 against that melee racks and take it down. But at this point, they want to fight in the mid lane. Stormster zip in from afar. vigoss gets focused, but the Sonic Wave does kill Misery. Does Misery have buyback? Nothing just yet. And now vigoss fighting against pajkatt. pajkatt has Abyssal. He's going to focus on vigoss. vigoss, couple more hits away. He's running so very fast. He's going to juke the Lycanthrope. And now Lycan out of wolf form, but he will still fight Amir out of right clicks, but he's still going to go for it. 1v2, 1v3.
This is insane.
He has a buyback, no problem there. But look at the creep equilibrium from all sides. The siege unit focusing on the racks. The wolves trying to win the game for pajkatt. Teleport in for Blood Angel. Where's the vacuum? The wolves still going in, and I do believe the siege unit will get the last couple hits. Siege units, 40 damage per pop. Oh, 50 HP.
Oh man, and that was really good for M5. But when you lose 2 lanes of racks like that, and then a 3rd melee racks, and your Rage Rax is down to 20 HP against the Lycan, who can buy Boots of Travel if he wants. No, he goes for the Desolator, more minus armor to chop all the buildings down quickly. M5, even if they wipe CLG, I mean, maybe if they get all 5 and nobody has buyback, then they can go all mid and win the game. If even 1 or 2 heroes are alive, I just think there's too much momentum from these creep waves for them to deal with it.
Well, I mean, at this point, the momentum from the creep wave, sure, it's there.
He backstabs it.
I think M5, they could still win this game, believe it or not. I believe if you pick off a couple guys and just go for a straight throne, you will outrace the big creeps. You can see that PGG has to boot your travel, so he's same base, he's going to boot your travel in. Right now, we do see M5, they're going for the win. This is their last hurrah. This is where the Alamo stand, although ironically, they're offensively attacking, not defending right now. They're going for the throne. And, well, there's a lot of HP. There's even a glyph.
Oh my god.
But there's no buyback. Here we go. The siege happens.
There's no buyback on anybody. Lincoln's picked up on Storm. It's all or nothing here. Glyph is used. These racks are going to drop very, very quickly. Positioning has to be perfect. Pipe already used up. Doesn't really matter too much at this point. The zip in. Misery wants to make a go here. Blink in for Miracle. Epicenter did not hit anyone. I believe it was canceled. The wall. Pretty decent position. PGG fishing for the black hole. Can he fight it? He has 2. He doesn't want them. He wants the Lycan or the Storm. He can't get either. Nobody dying for CLG yet. 2 heroes down for M5. Misery. Grow the black hole. Airball from PGG after so many good ones. Burrow strike in. Black hole gets stolen. That's going to be a team wipe. That's going to be GG. M5 call it. They played their hearts out, man. And again, only in the group stages. But CLG just too good in the late game. pajkatt and Misery, the Bash brothers to the end. The supporting cast played phenomenally. Oh boy, we have 5 more best out of 2s to go, Lumi.
My voice. We have to switch to the MTW game apparently because the games are happening and we have to keep casting. So we are going to exit out of this one. The throne will be destroyed just momentarily. I'm going to just have to screen up. But more action coming your way. That is CLG winning this game 2-0, or winning the series 2-0. Wow, what an insane play.
Guys, that's going to do it for M5 versus CLG, your first of 6 best out of 3s for today. You're watching the International